Well, another election looms on Britain's horizon. Are you excited? Are you hyped? Oh, I know I am. I know I can't wait to jump out of bed and fight my way through the December cold to my local polling station to cast my vote. What a privilege that will be. Voting, you see, is what separates us from the animals. Democracy is our greatest strength, after diversity, of course. And I'm sure that whoever I vote for will represent me and my interests with grace and honesty. And together, guys, we can implement real change through the unwavering power of the ballot box. Alright, I can't even keep up the sarcastic energy anymore. The truth is, right, and this is my honest opinion, why should I vote for anything ever again at this point? The biggest thing I ever voted for, Brexit, was over 3 years ago and it hasn't happened. The politicians in Westminster have deliberately gone against the wishes of the people and have refused to accept the result. So why should I, as a British citizen, bother myself to take part in our great democratic process anymore? Hell, maybe I'll just refuse to accept the results of this election. But yeah, I'll do it. Fine, I'll do it. I don't know why, but I'll do it. I'll slump out of bed, drag my heels to the polling station and cast a vote. Probably for the Brexit party because, well, I just will. This is a one-issue election, so I'll support the one-issue party, and that's all I can really do. And if nothing happens after this, if Brexit does get delayed and cancelled completely, then I'm done, I think. Then I'm done, for sure. Democracy, I mean, as much as it's dead already, it'll truly be a corpse then. And it'll be time to support something else. But the fact is, the longer this Brexit thing rumbles on for, the longer it will take for us to draw attention to the bigger problems we face in the West, and my god do we have problems. I want to look at each main party individually in the run-up to this election, just to point out how terrible they all are mainly. And today we've got a right whopper in the Liberal Democrats. I mean, these guys are just, well, we'll get into it. Now, I love the Lib Dems, believe me, I really do. They're such low-hanging fruit, and the only thing you have to do in order to destroy them is to give them a stage and a microphone and to let them speak for a few minutes. They do all the work for you, which is very considerate of them. Thank you so much. So today, all I want to do is listen to Joe Swinson's campaign speech from earlier this week, because really, it's beautiful. And I apologise for the bad audio, that's not my fault. The Liberal Democrats can't even do that right. Okay, let's go.
Welcome to this Liberal Democrat campaign launch. And I am excited for the weeks ahead. I am excited to stand here as your candidate for Prime Minister.
Well, at least someone is. Look at the podium, first of all. Can you see that? What does that say? Stop Brexit. Okay. So we'll just trash it then, yeah? We'll just trash it. Ignore the majority, who cares? Piss on them. Those knuckle draggers, that's fine. Go back to business as usual. Well, at least they've toned it down from their previous slogan. Bollocks to Brexit. Yeah, really big hit that was. Really big hit with the younger people. So edgy. They swore. Really great optics. Super, super smart. But you know what? If I have to give them any sort of positivity here, if I have to compliment them in any way, at least they're being honest about what they want to do. At least they're being honest. Yeah, we want to stop Brexit, fuck you. That's basically their message. I mean, that's it. And you've got to respect that on some level, but, they're still horrible.
Because a Liberal Democrat government will stop Brexit and build a brighter future.
The Liberal Democrats will ignore the result of the biggest democratic vote in Britain and side with the minority. Sounds amazing, Joe. Yeah, all the Leave voters will be totally cool with that. And she thinks they will be as well. She was quoted as saying that she thinks even in Leave areas the Liberal Democrats can win. We'll get onto her delusion later on, but I'll tell you what, give her the key to number 10 now. She's a shoo-in. Great strategy.
Politics is in a state of flux. The fault line is no longer about left versus right. It's about values. Whether we are open or closed, liberal, authoritarian. We all know this. The only uncertainty is what will emerge.
Here we go, straight up cringe. A totally contradictory statement. God, where do we start? Everything is about values now. Oh, that's it. Values. Well, I have a question. What values? What are we talking about? Whether we're open or closed, liberal or authoritarian? Well, first of all, of course she paints these things out within a moral framework. You know, because if you're not a liberal, you must be an evil authoritarian. There's no in between, guys. There's no intricacy within politics. It's all black and white. It's all hot and cold. And this is all coming from the leader of a party that wants to ignore and reverse a democratic vote, so where does she even fall in on this scale? In her own example, where does she stand? Open or closed? What does that even mean? You see, when I hear these people talking about openness, what they're really saying is they believe in mass migration, anti-racism, and being tolerant and loving diversity. That's what that means. That's what it all means. In other words, they believe in highly unpopular policies that the British people have been against for decades.
Whether, as the two big old tired parties hope, that things will go back to business as usual, or whether this is a moment of more seismic change, whether a new and different politics can emerge.
What exactly is new and different about the Liberal Democrats? Huh? They're just leftists. Nothing will change if they get in, because we already live in a leftist society. Our culture is completely left-wing, minority groups are protected by the law at the expense of the majority, like I just said. The LGBT lobby pushes its bullshit into every corner of our lives, we can't escape. Our borders are essentially wide open, I could go on and on and on, and you all know it. These things will not only continue to be in place, but under the Liberal Democrats will be encouraged even more. It's laughable that she's trying to play up the populism angle as well, referring to the two mainstream parties as tired and out of touch, which they are, she's right about that, but you are no different, genius. European populism is going in one direction, and it's not yours, I'm afraid.
Millions of voters have that choice in their hands at this election. Don't let anyone tell you what has to happen.
Except for me. Except for Joe Swinson.
Change is possible, and you get to choose. Like the MPs, like Luciana, like Sam, like Sarah, like Chuka, who chose to join the Liberal Democrats, to leave those tired old parties that are stuck in the past and join us and be part of creating something new and exciting for our politics, for our country.
Lefty populism, not even once. We're going to skip ahead a bit here. She's just blowing her own party's trumpet. Let's get on to some substance, if she has any.
And why are we experiencing this success? It's because of our values. It's because that is what many people feel is under threat. Since that referendum result in 2016, it wasn't just about EU institutions and what you thought of the European Parliament and the European Commission or the Council. It's about who we are as a country.
Who we are as a country. Well, you know what? I believe a country is defined by its people, but Jo won't go down any sort of identitarian route, obviously. She's against all that. So once again, who we are as a country simply gets reduced to baseless values and empty platitudes. We all just get condensed down to values, and those values, I'm sorry, they're not very inspiring. I'm not going to rally behind a flag of tolerance. I'm not going to be like, yeah, this is what I believe in. This is the most important thing in the world is anti-racism. Yeah, oh, great.
It's about the choices that we make. Whether or not we think it's a good thing to work with other countries, with our closest neighbours, to meet our shared challenges, both as the UK family of nations and also in our European Union.
Tell me, please, how does leaving the EU, a bureaucratic elephant, stop us from communicating and working with other countries? We're not going to cut the phone lines and turn off the internet. We're not disappearing into space. You do realise we have allies and working relationships with countries all over the world, right? And we don't need to be trapped inside a transnational body with them. Guys, I've heard this shite for 3 years now. They keep coming out with the same stuff. I feel like I'm going insane.
It's about whether you think it makes sense to tackle the climate emergency as 28 countries together, governments agreeing and acting in unison to have more power and more influence to make the changes we need to save our planet for future generations.
Oh yes, the climate emergency, that old chestnut. The battering ram of liberalism that will be used to micromanage our lives and guilt trip us into supporting your deranged policies. Oh yeah, Greta Thunberg is so brave, such a hero. We should listen to her. A 16-year-old child, yeah, put her on the front cover of every magazine, throw her on stage at the UN. What a saviour, an inspiration. Joe, question for you. This is all very well, it's all very cute. But what about the booming African population and mass movement of people, huh? Shh, silence, bigot. We do not discuss such things around here. Now pay more taxes so we can house these Africans in your neighbourhood. There's a good guy. Honestly, it's just so blind. They just say it for popularity. They say, oh, Greta Thunberg's a thing right now. We should capitalise on that. Policy-wise, it's just so hollow. It's like the Green Party. The Green Party don't care about the environment. They just use it, like I said, and I'm going to use my own words here because they're good words. They use it as a battering ram of liberalism. That's it. It's a huge concrete block. It's like one of those demolition balls on the end of a crane. They just use it to smash through. That's all it's used for. They don't care, really.
It's about recognising that immigration is good for our country. It helps our public services. We all benefit from people coming here and contributing to our society.
There we are. Didn't take long. Again, all of these people look at immigration from two angles, right? The first is a simple anti-racist angle. We should be kind and tolerant and raise up the minority on a pedestal because that's who we are. That's what our values are. The second angle they look at immigration from is purely an economic one. Immigration is good because the economy. You know, as if every immigrant that comes here is a genius high-earner job creator or a medical professional, when in actuality they're low-skilled and end up competing with regular British people for basic jobs if they work at all. And look, arguments can be made by both sides about the economic impact of immigration. The left would say they pay more than take out, the right would say the opposite. But you know what? I don't really care about the economy. The GDP means nothing to me here with this issue. You know what does matter? The changing face of British demographics. The fact that native white Brits will become a minority in their own country this century. The fact that I can visit places where I used to play with my friends as a kid and see that there are no more English people living there. That foreign rape gangs have operated and are operating in towns and cities across the country under council and police protection. That people can go to pop concerts and get blown to pieces. That people like Joe Swinson and other bleeding heart politicians can advocate for the return of ISIS brides to the UK under the umbrella of fairness and compassion, despite them being members of a terrorist organisation that has murdered British people for years. I suppose we have to be fairer and more compassionate to our psychopathic enemies than to our own people, who would be put under real threat and danger if people like Jo Swinson had her way. They're the things that I care about, and they're the things these people will never acknowledge. But yeah, think about the NHS. A few of these immigrants might be nurses. A few of them might set up a business. Wow, all the taxes they'll pay and contribute to our economy. Wow, great. Well, yeah, I'm not really concerned about that right now, I'm afraid.
It's about realising that society is stronger for the advances that have been made by feminism, by LGBT rights, by fighting against racism.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry, Joe, but that's a negative from me. A hard pass. Gotta disagree entirely there. Feminism allowed you to become the leader of the Liberal Democrats, and that's enough of a counter-argument right there. LGBT rights, yeah, great. Yeah, I love seeing children being put on hormone blockers. That's the progressive world I want to live in. I love seeing men in gimp costumes with dildos attached to their heads dancing down the street in Newcastle, again in front of children who have been dragged there by their parents, probably supporters of yours. I love Drag Queen Story Hour. I love the gender stuff. It's almost like you have an obsession with children. It's really odd, the LGBT thing and kids. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. I wonder what they've got planned for further down the line as our progressive world gets even more progressive. But yeah, it's all amazing. I love seeing the pride flag everywhere, in restaurants, on the high street, on the internet. I love the fact that I'm supposed to pretend that biology doesn't exist anymore, that a man with a big swinging pair of balls is actually a woman. Oh, I'm fully on board. And yeah, anti-racism, love that too. It's great. It's absolutely great that everyone is protected, yet white people can be legally denied access to job applications on the basis of their race. I mean, that's progressive. That's the new type of politics that the Liberal Democrats want. I absolutely adore hate speech laws, hate crime laws too, because, it's really fair how a bunch of brown guys can assault, in their words, a white bastard and cut his hand off with an axe, and not only be acquitted of attempted murder, but also have the racial element of their crime completely ignored. So yes, I am totally on board with this brave new world that you want to create. I tell you what, fuck the Brexit party, I'm coming to you, love. Your message is just so appealing to people like me.
It's about recognising that our humanity does not stop at our borders.
Yeah, just let them all in, Joe. We can take them, right? All in the name of humanity. Well, there'll be a lot more humanity trying to get into this country over the coming years, so let's see how long it takes them to move into your neighbourhood, eh?
I never thought that I would stand here and say that I'm a candidate to be Prime Minister. But when I look at Boris Johnson and Jeremy Corbyn, I am absolutely certain I could do a better job than either of them.
Are you serious?
With his big lies, his brash promises and his attitude to women, it's clear who Boris Johnson is modelling himself on. Donald Trump. Of course, Donald Trump thinks that Boris is a wonderful guy, a great gentleman. I'm not sure that Donald Trump is the best arbiter of who's a gentleman.
Orange man bad. Boris is the British Trump. Boris hates women. Yeah, just throw that in there. Why not? He hates women, of course. Based on what? Based on what? And listen, I don't even like Boris, right? I think he's entertaining at times, but at the end of the day, he's just another fake conservative who only cares about the GDP. But for God's sake, Joe, these personal attacks didn't work on Trump, and they won't work on Boris. He hates women. He's a misogynist. Yeah, and you're a globalist shill that would accelerate the death of my nation.
Red or blue, it's all Brexit. It's all bad for our country. And wanting to stay in Europe is about choosing the kind of country that we want to be. Whether we are open or closed, whether we're generous or selfish, whether we stand united with our friends or stand alone in the world. Whether we say no to the populists in the White House and the Kremlin or follow their example. Whether we fight for our children's future or gamble with their chance in life.
It's always good to repeat your empty platitudes. Are we open or closed? Generous or selfish? What's selfish about people wanting a say on how their country is run? Or do we always have to take a back seat? Huh? We've always got to think about others, never ourselves, never what we want, no. You wouldn't want to be like Russia, would you? Ooh, boogeyman, Russia, ooh, be scared. Funny, for a woman who was channeling populist language earlier in her speech, now she has to bash it. Now she has to disavow, right? Yeah, use it for your own points. You could use populist language to say, the mainstream parties don't care about you, they're stuck in the past. Red versus blue, what's it going to be this time? But the term itself, populism, you've got to bash that because The Guardian has said it's bad. Populism is the will of the people, Joe. You clearly don't care about the people, that's obvious. Claiming to care about our children's future just completely goes against everything else you stand for. You may call me a bigot, you may call me a racist, you may call me, well, whatever you want to call me. I've had everything. But I don't want my future kids to grow up a minority in their classroom, or have political lobbies promoting gender transitions for them, or be denied career opportunities thanks to diversity quotas. And I could list many more things. I've already mentioned them in this video. So no thank you, Joe. Your message just doesn't resonate with me. I'm terribly sorry about that. But you know what? I think that's enough for today. The rest of the speech is more of the same, and I think I've made my point. And every video I've seen on YouTube of this speech has been so heavily downvoted. It's hilarious. So I think even liberals will agree with me here. Well, maybe not, but you know what I'm saying. The Liberal Democrats are a joke. You've got to wonder though, when you look at Jo Swinson, that odd look she has, you have to wonder if there's anyone home. The lights are on, but is anyone really there? I mean, when does ambition turn into delusion? And when does that delusion turn into pure insanity? The woman is a mentalist. The Liberal Democrats are treacherous. And to finish off, just to show you how quickly their message can be destroyed, how easily it can be blown to smithereens, listen to the first question asked from the journalists, a BBC journalist no less. So this isn't high IQ stuff, guys. But make note of just how simple this whole facade falls apart, alright?
Laura Kuenssberg.
Thank you very much. Jo Swinson, you said this morning you want to bring the country together. But how would you do that if your plan is to disregard the vote of millions of people in the referendum of 2016, whether that's campaigning to stop Brexit in another referendum, or if you achieved your dream of a majority, revoking it altogether without even having another public vote?
As Liberal Democrats, we're standing up for what we believe in and being very honest and straightforward about that. I recognise there are differences of opinion on this issue. And I think people recognise and appreciate that we are consistent and we are firm in what we are standing for. I think it's also true that there is very little reason to have confidence that there is a majority in this country for any specific Brexit path. So Theresa May's Brexit wasn't acceptable to Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson's Brexit isn't acceptable to Nigel Farage. There isn't a Brexit that commands a majority. We want to stop Brexit, and if we get a majority Liberal Democrat government, that is exactly what we will do.
Yes, there's no clear majority for a Brexit path apart from the Brexit vote itself, which you want to ignore. Good luck uniting the country and becoming the next Prime Minister, Joe. Let's see if telling the majority of British people to fuck off is a winning formula. Cheers. Thank you all for watching once again. If you'd like to support this channel, the usual methods apply. I have a Ko-Fi account, link is down below. You can still buy an Iconoclast magazine as well. Hopefully I'll see you all soon. Have a good one.